New doorknobs. This one's exactly the same. I accidentally broke the doorknob in my room when my friends were over this last time, and we stole the one from this door, and then it broke for some reason when we put it in the other door, so we had to buy new doorknobs for these doors. Anywho, the stupid tripod mount is still on this camera here, and it drives me crazy. I hate this stupid mount. There it is. Alright, so first of all, as you can see here, this is my PS1, and we are in the guest bedroom right now. This is my PS1. Works fine. This is my PlayStation over 9000. I'm calling it that because it's model 9001. And check this out. Okay, well, I already tried to fix it earlier, and it kind of worked. But this is sticking pretty bad. So, basically, what we're going to do today is we are going to get this to stop sticking. My disclaimer here is that you will have to open your PlayStation, and this should work on every different model of the PlayStation. I don't quite know. But you are going to have to open your PlayStation up. Do not touch the power supply. Do not leave it plugged in. Do not mess with anything on the inside. Because on another PlayStation, I just started fiddling around, and I ripped the CD drive power cable header out of the solder points on the motherboard. Don't do that. It will obviously make your CD drive quit working. I got the gun cons plugged in right now, so unplug your controllers and your memory cards if you got any plugged in. Unplug your video cable. Unplug your power cable. Push the power button, and you'll see the power button, or see the power light light up for a second. Really don't need to do much. Now, the next thing you're going to have to do is open up the PlayStation, which I need to stop recording to do because it really requires two hands. The screws are pretty tight. Also, it says, risk of electric shock, do not open. Look, what we just did earlier, unplug it and then flip it on and flip it off, that actually took care of that. But still, it's just a good idea to not touch the power supply. It also says SCPH 9001. That's why I call it the PlayStation over 9000. This one, I believe, what model is this? This is the 101. It's a lot different from the 1001. Because the 1001 was the first one. The 101 was the last one. So, also the feet, like the little felt feet. I don't know if they came on this model, but if they did, they're ripped off. Anywho, I'm gonna open this up now. Okay, so it took me a second or two. I got all the screws unscrewed. You should have 6 screws. I don't know about the later models. This one appears to also have 6. There's one hidden under the label, I can tell. But, basically, you should have 6 screws no matter what model you have, as far as I know. Also, your optical drive should be empty, or you're going to rip the disc out of it when you pick the cover off. Didn't stick that time, I just noticed. But, anyway, let me put the camera down for a second. This is going to require 2 hands. But it wouldn't take very long, so there you go. This is the inside of your PlayStation. This part right here is the power supply. This is the only part you would ever need to touch if you're going to operate it open, and that is the power button. Right in there is the reset button, and I'd rather not try to touch it because, well, guess what? The transformer's right there, and it's surrounded in capacitors and diodes and stuff. Doesn't seem like the best idea. Pixel, go away. Pixel, go away. You're going to Pixel, go away. Go away. I know you want to be loved on, but you need to go away. Ah, crazy cat. So, basically, right here, what you're saying is the optical drive. This is the whole optical drive, if you're wondering. Yes, indeed it is. Doesn't look like much, does it? Well, the way they're able to make it so small is this is just the moving parts. All of the optical drive logic is on the main board. So if you were to put an older drive in here, it would sound like a newer drive. If you were to put a newer drive in an older system, then it would sound like the older drive. Pixel is wheezing. Attempting to meow, but he's wheezing. In here. Basically right here, what you're seeing right there is the ejection mechanism. Mine doesn't always stick, however it does often. So, the next thing you're going to need to do, which is also going to take 2 hands again, but won't take too long, is you're going to want to take these 2 screws out right here. So I'm going to do that. Alright. Once you've got those out, you can just pull this mechanism out right here. It's a little fiddly, but you just pull that out like that. Then, under there is the eject button itself. Also, the door won't close at all now, don't worry about that. To get the eject button out is something else you're going to have to do. You want to squeeze these 2 things right here and push on them. And then push in the middle, and then it should kind of start popping out, and then you should be able to just pull it out. See, the eject button can contribute to the problem too. So, you can also remove all of the buttons like this if you ever need to, but today we're only going to be removing the eject button. Next up, you want to pull the sandwich apart. To do this, all it takes is you just pull the top half of the sandwich up some. Maybe that's not how you do it, I can't remember. Regardless, you just have to kind of try to get the sandwich. Oh wait, you twist it around backwards, that's how you do it. Get the sandwich off of the spring. Then, right here, you need to take the spring, set it aside, and put it somewhere where you're not going to lose it. Preferably in the cover somewhere. And if you have to, you can clean the hole right here, but that water can usually take care of that if you want to do that at some point. These parts, on the other hand, are going to take more servicing than just water. These are the parts that stick together. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to leave this room. And this camera is running out of space on the memory card, so I'm going to directly cut out everything possible. So, I'm just going to cut some stuff out here. I'm just going to walk through that door and go into my kitchen. Don't worry. Okay, so it's really dark in here, but... Hi. But it's okay. You don't really need light. You just need... What are you doing? He has hidden that annoying toy under there. Nice. Can you not get it out? That's a good thing, Pixel. That's a good thing you can't get it out, because that thing's super annoying. Anywho, probably want... I'm just not going to use a glass bowl. We probably can't use a glass bowl. I'm not going to, because we only have one glass bowl left. Basically, the next thing you want to do is you want to fill it up with a little bit of water. Not much. Just a little bit like that should be enough. Now, you want to get dishwashing soap. Emphasize dishwashing. Hand soap has lotion in it. The lotion that is in hand soap will worsen the problem. So don't use it. Use dishwashing soap. Dishwashing soap is more than good enough. So, it's designed to cut grease, but it will also cut, like, dried up grease from computers too, because that's part of the problem usually. All you need is a tiny squirt. Pixel, no. No. You just need a tiny squirt. That might be a little more than you really need. take your watch off if you've got one. Let me do that real quick, because it'll get wet and it'll be uncomfortable. And since, well, if you use Dawn, it's really strong, so don't stick your whole hand in it. That's just my advice to you. Just kind of stir it up. Mix the soap in with the water. Try not to breathe. It's really strong. It sometimes give you a headache if you're allergic to it somehow. Now, take the 3 parts. Push them down because they like to float. Apparently, I haven't actually done it this way yet. This part doesn't like to float. Apparently, that's good. This part's the only one that likes to float. Oh my goodness! Just take all of the parts. Put them in there for a little bit, and then put the bowl somewhere where your cat or dog is not going to be able to reach it. And I just ripped a paper towel in half. Who cares? The only place that really is in my house is over here, like this. So we can keep Pixel off of here, and we can keep him off of there. For the most part. So, you just want to let these soak for a few minutes. And, well, I'm going to give them just about 2 or 3. And then once you get them out, dry them off really, really good before reassembling the system. Okay, it's been several minutes. Well, I say several, just a few. Now, what you want to do is you want to grab a paper towel. Or, well, there's paper plates right here, but you can't really fold up a paper plate to dry it off. Here's one. Here's the one I used to dry my hands earlier. Didn't have to tear a new one. Grab the Pixel. Tickling me with his tail. Grab the parts. And make sure all the water's out of them. Grab the parts one by one. Attempt to blow bubbles if you want to, like I just did. I did successfully blow one. So like I said, grab all the parts one by one and put them on the paper towel. And usually the print will survive. Sometimes it may not. I don't know. Now what you want to do is, if the water is a little bit clouded, which this one is slightly clouded, then that means it probably worked. Then you can just pour it in the sink. It is dishwashing soap after all. Nothing bad in it. I mean, you're supposed to pour it in the sink. Dishwashing soap, you wash dishes in the sink, so what else would you pour it in? Just dry off the parts and sometimes poke holes through the paper towel. And get the parts stuck through the paper towel. There we go. Dry off the parts. And prepare for reinsertion. Reinsertion? Reinsert. I don't know how you'd say it. Reinsertion might have been right. I don't know. So, once you have all the parts completely dried off, the button isn't quite as important, but it's good to get them all good and dried off. You want to take the parts and bring them back to the main cover. You probably want to let them air dry for a second or two because like mine, there's a little bit of water left on them. There we go. Got the door open now. It's hard to open and close doors when you got stuff in both hands. Gotta admit. So, as you can see here, this one is still a little wet, and this one's still a little wet, and this one's actually pretty dried off. That's interesting. You can do it on your clothes to finish drying it off if you want. I mean, like, I'm in a hurry here because I'm running out of time. Don't really want to wait for them to dry. You really want to get them dry so that it won't give you a false positive for it being fixed, because, you know, soap makes it slippery. That was the camera autofocusing. I'm like, what the heck is that sound? It's ever been quiet enough for me to hear it, I guess. Now, the power button's the hardest part to dry. Luckily, it's the least important thing to get dry. So, the next thing you're going to want to do is reinstall all the parts into the assembly. The first thing you're going to need to do is stick the spring back onto this part right here. Onto this part of the assembly. The main base part of the mechanism. We're going to want to put the spring on it first. So, it's really hard to do with one hand. Let me just tell you that right now. I know this isn't going to be a very exciting part of the video. Just me trying to get the spring to go in single-handedly. So, alright. Really? Alright. Basically, the problem is that it's got like this little tab that keeps it from going on very easily. It's also designed to keep it from going off. So there we go. And, sometimes you may accidentally put it on backwards, which I think I may have, but that's a bridge I'll cross when I get there. What you want to do now is you want to get the spring onto this little piece right here. And I believe you want to put the thing on like this. So this is going to require 2 hands, and it's going to take me a while, so I'm going to stop recording, and you can just see it completed. Never mind, that actually only took a couple seconds. Actually, I think I did it backwards. Epic fail. Okay, you want to do it this way, I'm sorry. You want to do it this way, and you want to get the spring to go around it. Do a little optical zoom action here. There we go. You want to get the spring to go around this little clip right here, which is definitely going to require 2 hands. So I did do it backwards. You want, okay, you basically see what you want it to be like. So just let me stop recording again. Oh my goodness, this one took me a whole about 2 seconds longer. All right, now put it in this way. You want to install this into the, you want to install the assembly into the top half of the case this way. And hopefully my screw threads haven't gotten worn out, because I've had to unscrew it and screw it back in several times today. The screw threads, since they're plastic, can get ruined pretty easily, probably, so just want to be careful about that. So just screw the screws in, like this. Obviously nothing's going to happen yet, because the button's not put back in. However, putting the button back in is a pretty simple process. Alright. You want to make sure it's right side up, or if you're OCD, that'll drive you crazy. Actually, never mind, it won't work if it's not right side up anyway, so stick the button in like this. Just squeeze it on the sides, push it down in like this. And it opened. Check it out. That's the smoothest it's ever been. So that is definitely the best method I've tried so far, since it worked immediately. So there it is with the drive there. So let me just get it screwed back together, and I'll show that it still works. Alright, so all the screws are put in now. Eject button's still working great. I hope it stays that way. That'll be awesome if it does. This PlayStation was used from a friend, and it was in terrible condition. I did get it pretty well, and I just noticed there's a smiley face under the Sony logo there. A smiley face. that looks like it was purposefully drawn. That's very interesting. Anywho, this console is going under the TV. So, just plug in your controllers. In this case, I'm plugging in my gun cons. So I've been playing Point Blank. Since my other PlayStation works way better than this, I just have this one set up over here. Play Point Blank on. You can see the gun cons are set up into this device here. Plug this into the back of the PlayStation. If I can figure out where the heck the port is. It's right there, isn't it? Yeah, it's right there. I'm just terrible at blindly plugging stuff in, apparently. I mean, I've tried to plug floppy disk drives in to their power connectors before, when I couldn't actually see where they were, and I did it poorly. Okay, so now TV, Panasonic CRT monitor in all of its glory. TV in all of its glory is what I meant. Go blue stuff. So that's something one of my friends said when I turned on a CRT TV. Let's go ahead and load up Point Blank 1, not 2. I like Point Blank 1 better. Actually, never mind. Let's do Point Blank 2. Because I actually played Point Blank 2 in a retro arcade in Manitou Springs, Colorado. They actually had retro skee-ball and some arcade machines that weren't even video games. And what I mean by that is they're not even like modern non-video game arcade machines. They were like actual nickel machines. Like you would actually put in a nickel to use them. They had not changed the price. Really cool. If you ever go to Manitou Springs, Colorado, that's the place to go. So, powered on. Button still works pretty nicely. Hard the drive spin up. Pick up my gun con here. Sorry, my hand is so shaky. Skip this stuff. Now loading. Let me go ahead and calibrate this thing. Oops, a little off. My left hand's shaky. Got it. Now you just push the A button. Now, number 2, no one's using, so I just push A on it without actually calibrating it. Go ahead and say yes. Yes, I'm sure. Come on, finish loading. We've only got 28 seconds left. Okay, let's see. You can see that it's working. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. The disc is still spinning. That was an epic ending. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. If you would like, you can visit the links in the description to see my computer-related blog, my personal blog, and, last but not least, my other channel, where I mainly play video games with friends. Oh, by the way, don't bother trying to click those buttons.